You're listening to the Grand Army of the Republic broadcast, the voice of the Outer Rim. This next one goes out to the mutt jumpers of the 224th, slugging it out on Membomb.
Hello there guys, Luke here from the Scoundrel's Cantina. Sadly, my best friend Todd won't be able to join me in making this video because he's at work. So I thought I'd do a retrospective on the past 10 years owning a YouTube channel, loving Star Wars and hating it quite a bit. So I'm gonna try and wing this because I'm not really used to speaking in front of a camera. It's very weird for me still. And I'm probably going to make a lot of stupid comments in this video, so forgive me for that. I'm still trying to get used to this format of making videos because I usually use a script. But anyway, it's been 10 years ever since me and my best friend Todd uploaded our first ever YouTube video, which was a Glock 17 airsoft review. At the time, we didn't know what we were going to do with the channel and why we were even making it in the first place. So we were just making videos as a hobby and nothing more than that.
Well, the first one is the when the mag's not in, and when fuck!
And we actually recorded the first video like 3 meters away from me in the room next to this one, which actually didn't exist at the time. I built it when I earned a lot of money from YouTube to be able to have a studio. But anyway, we really didn't know what we were gonna do, and it started in October the 3rd, 2015. So it's been exactly 10 years as of today when this is uploaded. So we didn't know what we were gonna do. I remember the hype was real for Star Wars The Force Awakens. The main inspirations, I guess, for even having a Star Wars channel would be Stupendous Wave at the time. Dash Star, he had those amazing Jedi Outcast videos back then. And believe it or not, Star Wars Explained, who used to be called Star Wars Minute, and he actually made some really, well, I used to think very, very informative videos for Star Wars lore, especially if you're a beginner or something like that. Especially for the expanded universe back then, which were like 1 minute long, maybe 2 sometimes, but it gets you into the lore of Star Wars. Anyways, those were the very first channels I remember watching around 2015, who were making content and theories and speculations based on what The Force Awakens might be. So that's something that really helped a lot. And also my love of Lego. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of... I have a huge collection now in 2025. I didn't have that big of a collection back in 2015 because I couldn't buy that much Lego. YouTube made that very possible. So yeah, that was basically the beginning of the channel. We used to make Lego videos, hyped for new Star Wars sets, reactions, which really sucked, and it feels fake watching it right now. Even though I was obviously dying to see episode 7. What a mistake that was, huh? So that's how it began, and that was 2015. Force Awakens came out. Very disappointed. Thought it was a copy-paste of A New Hope. Didn't like the movie at all. And then 2016 came. I was still very hyped for the next movies anyway. Especially Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. And that was when the idea came to actually make this be a Star Wars lore channel, since my hobbies for at least 10 years then was playing Star Wars games and diving deep into the expanded universe and stuff like that. So why not? And Rogue One: A Star Wars Story really gave us that idea to call the lore videos a Star Wars story at the end. So, in 2016, it actually became a Lego Star Wars and a Star Wars lore channel. Then, yeah, by the way, in 2016 we also managed to get 2 strikes because I had no clue about how copyright worked back then. And once we started earning revenue in 2016, it really, changes your perspective on that stuff. But originally, we never thought it would even earn anything. We did it because it was a hobby, and I was doing it in my spare time anyway, so why not? Then Star Wars Theory came. I remember he was one of those things that really showed how popular Star Wars had gotten in 2015, 2016. And then after him, a lot of Star Wars YouTubers started rising up out of nowhere, just as we did. And he really pushed the boundaries on making videos. The guy didn't sleep, basically, from what I could tell back then. And it's quite an achievement to get 3 million subs. If I'm not mistaken, he's larger than the actual Star Wars YouTube channel of Lucasfilm. So props to him for not sleeping for 5 years and grinding all those videos. But anyway, that gave a lot more competition to making more videos. And I remember being highly motivated in 2016, especially because of Rogue One. And I'll tell you one thing, I used to go to Todd's place to sleep over for like a week. And when Rogue One was coming out, I went to his place. We were ordering pizzas every night and grinding Knights of the Old Republic lore videos back then. And we probably never had more views than we had then, that December, for Rogue One. And ironically, I didn't even mention, when we went to The Force Awakens, you can actually see a video from December 2015. I recorded it. The Star Wars logo came up on the screen. I activated my Anakin's lightsaber. It's actually an episode 4 version. Luke's, but Anakin's. And someone said, turn that light off in the theater, even though it was a premiere. Like, who does that stuff? But and it completely ruined the experience for me with The Force Awakens and everything. But when Rogue One came, Todd was dressed as Darth Nihilus. I was a Jedi Temple guard, and that was like a perfect premiere. Like probably the best time going to a theater in my entire life, from what I can tell. And also that Vader scene in Rogue One was phenomenal. Then came 2017, we're waiting for The Last Jedi. Even the name already had I've had a bad feeling about it ever since I even heard the name. I was excited to see what's gonna happen, but I was already giving up even after The Force Awakens, because to me it's an obvious storytelling mistake to copy a complete story just to get the fans back, whatever that means. We see how that turns out when Hollywood uses that argument. So yeah, The Last Jedi was coming out, people were very hyped. When it finally came out, we did a review on it, like a week later, a long one. And we also did a retrospective review on The Force Awakens and how Disney was already working on destroying Star Wars, even with The Force Awakens. Although I'd argue I loved Rebels, even back then, and I love it now even more because I consider it a better TV show than most of what Disney does today. But anyway, let's get back to 17. The Last Jedi comes out. People are coping. They want to like the movie. They're giving reviews of how it was good, but I have to watch it again, blah blah blah. I just wrote a script for the review of it because I fucking hated it, honestly. It was garbage. Like a garbage movie that doesn't understand its characters, the story that came before it, or anything. And that is where the journey actually begins here, because I was introduced to a world where the directors of the movie are going to attack the fans that gave money to go to the cinema and call you a sexist and a racist. And you know what that did to me? That really showed what the actual motive was for the people creating Star Wars, to me at least. That said everything about it, because my review of The Last Jedi back then, actually mine and Todd's review, our review, sorry, I'm recording alone, so I'm kind of mixing it up, you know. Our review was criticized by J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson, and a few other channels back then. They called us racist, sexist, and I'm like, I've never experienced something like that in my life. Why on earth would you attack your fan base that you're supposed to be trying to please to get our money? And I'll be honest with you guys, I've been a Christian for a long time. And you know, with being a Christian, you have Christian morals and ethics and a worldview. But Disney and what they were doing, and let's say the wokeness at Lucasfilm, was something that really pushed me and my friend to becoming way more conservative than we ever were. With our views and everything, because they showed us that it's fine to attack someone for having a different opinion. It's fine to try and cancel them, because the fans that are behind stuff like that really want to get rid of you online, really want you to lose your voice. And that's the first time I was ever introduced to the concept of woke, or as they used to call it, SJW back then.
I don't say that the Scoundrel's Cantina are fascists because, you know, I don't like them. I say it because it's the fucking truth.
So they are responsible for creating what I am today, in a way, because they showed me what you're not supposed to be. The so-called tolerant people and the loving people that want to get rid of you because you have an opinion that they don't like, even though I live in Serbia, since like the last 15 years, I live in Serbia, on the other side of the world, and they were trying to get rid of us even back then for daring to criticize something. And let's say that a lot of Star Wars channels and a lot of channels in general have faced stuff like that. It's not pleasant at all. And it did change us a lot back then, especially over the years. It was like something completely new that I've never seen before. It changed my perspective on how the world works quite a bit, because I've noticed that how is it possible that a studio that's based around making money doesn't want to make money? Like, they weren't interested in making money. It doesn't make sense at all. But what makes sense after realizing that would be that it's not about the money. It's about sending the message. So that was my conclusion back then. And a lot of channels rose up because of shitty behavior like that. Then came 2018, no one watched Solo. It's actually it's a decent movie, I guess. Had some controversies around it because of the stupid retards at Lucasfilm. They wanted to push more agendas, you know, Pando instead of Lando. Movie flopped quite a bit. Then next was the rise of Skywalker, or Milk Walker, whatever. And we did a review on the trailer, and it was obvious, thanks to J.J. Abrams' big mouth and Ryan Johnson, that it was highly agenda driven. They needed to push something for modern audiences. And we did a review, criticized the entire agenda, got called fascists, and AZIs. Mustache man bad from Austria. Austrian painter, you know. That's what we got called for having basic Christian morals back then. Then we got, it was, I think, end of 2018, start of 2019, got called a fascist by some Antifa members. They actually call themselves the Fantifa because they're so-called Star Wars fans. You can actually find some videos of them criticizing my channel and straw manning like every single thing I've ever said, and especially the things that I didn't say. That was the best part.
They fit the definition of a fascist. Everything that they believe in, everything that they say out of their damn mouth is fascist. Their actions are that of a fascist.
I'm not going to reveal their names. They don't need the flack right now because they're warring against each other. You know, the channels that were together against me are now against each other as soon as some of them disagreed with some things there, which is quite ironic. The thing is, I remember when that happened, me and Todd were talking like, I want to bet in 2 years they're going to go against each other as soon as they find some disagreement on some stupid bullshit. And it actually happened, ironically. Then, you guys know, if you've watched the channel, I used to say at the end of the videos, God is awesome. A very Protestant thing to say. You know, it's kind of cringe in a way, but he is. I always thought so. And I don't know why we ever added that. It really detracted people from the channel. But it felt right, because without God, there's no reason to live. At the end of the day, there is no meaning. And I just wanted to give something back. A lot of people have hated on it over the years, and even more have really appreciated it, from what I could see. And I was very thankful for that. I still get positive comments for that to this day. And I'm going to continue doing so in the future. I'm never going to stop praising God at the end of my videos. Simply because I'm thankful to even be able to make videos. And, well, I don't earn a living from it anymore, as I used to. But I'm very thankful for even being able to do it in the first place. But anyway, because of that, there was this Satanist dude who used to stalk like every single upload, immediately get like 5 or 10 dislikes like in the first minute, like as if he was always online. He made I knew who it was because of the comments, and he made a channel called Satanist Lives Matter, and you know, doing some edgy Reddit tier stuff there. And he was doing that for like 3 or 4 years. Like, I was getting messages like every single upload, getting shit on for it. And I remember once randomly watching some video about some theological stuff, and I saw him commenting like a huge comment about his life. Turns out the guy went through hell, basically. A very broken person, I'd say. And I commented on his comment, reaching out to him, because there is no need for us to hate each other. In fact, I felt sorry for him. I never got a response for that, or I don't even remember what video it was. That's the thing. Maybe he did respond, but I tried to reach out, and the hate stopped. He never again went after me after that. And I remember he was angry because of the ending of the videos, because it was insulting to him for someone to praise God. Like, don't watch if you don't like it, dude. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not going to change my views on something because you don't like it, you know? So yeah, that was like the first 5 years. By the way, the channel for the first 5 years, from 2015 to 2020, was doing very well. We were both me and my friend Todd, we were able to live from the revenue that we earned, and it was only YouTube. We were so lazy, and I hate myself for that now, that we didn't even make a Patreon. We didn't spread to other social media and everything, which was a big mistake. And there were a lot of consequences because of that. So since I'm not using a script, I've had to pause the recording and think what I'm gonna say next, because I've skipped quite a few chapters in between, one of which is in 2018 I went to Tunisia with my girlfriend, Theodora. We visited the real life Tatooine, where George Lucas filmed a lot of scenes for A New Hope and The Phantom Menace. Although technically, when you look at it, everywhere you see Tatooine was filmed in Tunisia for some of it at least. But we specifically went to Mos Espa, which is seen in episode 1, because he built a whole city. That was a fantastic experience. I actually have a kind of a documentary on it, which not a lot of people have had the chance to see. From what I can tell, the algorithm really wasn't on our side whenever we did anything that wasn't Star Wars lore or a Lego Star Wars review. Even though I put a lot of effort in recording and making that like 20-minute documentary of my trip to Tunisia. And also we visit a lot of Indiana Jones filming locations as well. It was phenomenal. Check it out if you guys want to. Anyway, 2019, I went to Egypt for the first time, holiday with my girlfriend as well. Really reminded me of Korriban. You know, you have the Valley of Kings, which is basically a valley where you have the tombs of the pharaohs. Really reminded me of Korriban. Must have been an inspiration for that. You know, Valley of the Dark Lords, etc. Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars The Old Republic MMO. It's basically very similar in a way. The concept's similar and the name is similar. And after that, it was 2019 for Egypt. It was 2018 for Tunisia. When I came back from Egypt, I hurt my back. 2 discs went out of my, what do you call it, discus hernia? Or is it or am I mixing it up with Serbian? Because that's how you say it in Serbian, basically. But anyway, I had a injury with 2 discs out from like the most stupid thing you could do. I basically was petting my Todd's dog when I was at his place, and as I got up, something just started to hurt in my back, and that was it. You're gonna have consequences for the rest of your life. I was told that I was never gonna be able to run again, because if I run, the disc might go out. And it was probably the most pain I've felt ever in my life. It lasted for a few years. I was still working on videos. I had to stand up, and put my monitor on some boxes or something like that to edit videos, because I wasn't allowed to sit. It was very annoying and painful, of course. Also, what else happened in 2018 and 19 is I had to go on an operation. My ass cheek had a an ingrown hair, and it really got bad. It was really painful, and the operation, even though you get anesthesia, they pump it in your ass, in your butt cheek, it's still painful as hell when they're cutting off parts. Ugh. And I had to go through that twice, because the first time they didn't do it well again. And I was working through all of that. In fact, the Obi-Wan Kenobi video that me and Todd made, that's like 50 minutes long, with James Arnold Taylor voicing the intro and outro, and a few parts in the middle of the lore video. I was making that while standing up when I had the operation on my ass in 2018. But I made it. Back then I had so much motivation for making lore videos. I absolutely loved it. I still do, but we'll get to that on how much I've fallen and how demoralized I am when it comes to YouTube and Star Wars and life in general. And I'm still talking about like from 2015 to 2020, where life was actually good. Yeah, it was actually great back then. If only I knew how to cherish it more while it lasted, because what I live through today is it can't compare to what it used to be like. It was so much better till 2020 came. Well, anyway, I hurt my back, had the biggest paycheck in my life in December 2019. The algorithm is great when it's time for Christmas and New Year's Eve, because everyone is at home, everyone is watching videos and everything, and I had the biggest paycheck in my life then. And after that came the the unspecified virus that we're not allowed to talk about, you know, because of censorship, unless you completely agree with the narrative of that. And that's when everything went to hell, basically. In general, from what I can tell, the world started to not make sense at all anymore. More and more so. You know, add wokeness to that stupid bullshit and their virtue signaling, and you get something quite very authoritarian and dangerous when you mix the two. It's ironic that the people who are the biggest hypocrites and play double standards all the time talk about virtue and what is good and what is bad, yet they can't even define it. They have no moral basis outside of themselves to even understand why something is good or something is bad. It's all agenda-driven dribble. And yeah, life got hard back then. 2020 was quite bad. It was bad for the views as well. Motivation was was down for the channel, I remember. Although, even though we weren't uploading as we used to, and I'll get to that actually, and it's absolutely my fault, not Todd's. I'll tell you why. Why we stopped uploading as much is not only because the world went to hell and how that didn't work so well for the mind in general. It's because I have this compulsive need to make something perfect, and I've noticed that over the years when making videos. I really care about the stuff I make. That's why I don't upload often, because I put a lot of time into almost every single thing that we upload. I wrote most of the scripts for the entire channel. I edited like over 95% of every video and put in the finishing touches. And the thing is, I'm able to make a video quite fast. Let's say if it's a 10-minute video, I can do it in a week. Let's say I can do it in a week, completely detailed, every single frame the way I want it. 99% video is finished. And because I'm a perfectionist, I have this need to make it perfect, which isn't apparently possible. It takes me another like 3 weeks to get that 1% at the end. And you know what's ironic? I upload the video, I watch the video one more time to check if everything is good, and I find a mistake that only I notice, and I have a need to delete the video and fix it. And the problem with that is, when I watch my older stuff from like a year before, every time I would have a need to go back to the video and fix it.
Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
And it's never good. Like, another year passes, I go back and I try to fix it again, and it's never good. I'm looking for perfection to satisfy my own needs, while the YouTube channel is falling apart. There are no uploads, there's no money, you can't live making YouTube without putting out videos. And I'm just trying to feel good about what I'm making, because I want to be happy with the stuff that I made. So that's basically my fault, and it's really hard to get rid of it. It's basically impossible, but I'm working on it. I'm back now. I've had a pause for at least 2 years uploading and working regularly because of problems in life, but I'm gonna try again. I'm not gonna give up ever, actually. In fact, no matter how hard it gets, I'm always gonna come back and try to make stuff, because I actually love making stuff. I just torture myself with the 1% at the end that no one notices but me. But yeah, it's basically my fault for why there wasn't more uploads. But I'll tell you one thing. At the end of 2020, I started learning to make machinimas. Yeah, I'm like 15 years late for that, because it was very popular in the 2000s. You know, using a existing game engine to create a story, record stuff. And despite AI existing and everything, I don't really regret learning to make that stuff, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't making a lore video talking about a story that someone else created, even though I'm using my own words. Although, to be honest, we didn't at the start, like 2015, 2016. We used Wikipedia because I'm still learning to do that stuff. I was quite bad at it when I look at the videos back then. But later on, your skills really improve like every single year. Yet my problem was always I want to go back and fix the stuff I already made so that I'm happy with it. That was my personal problem. But I learned making machinimas using the Jedi Academy engine game. Although by now, by 2025, I've also learned to do it with World of Warcraft and other games that I really enjoy. And I love telling stories. In fact, right now, the past 2 years, I've been making expanded universe stories that were never seen on screen using the retro style machinima format for it. Because first, it's nostalgic to me. Second, I really don't want to use AI because I don't see the art in using AI actually. It's cheating basically. And I enjoy the process of making stuff from nothing and, going through a map that I'm going to use and create this story, trying to recreate something from the comics or maybe a completely fan-made story or something. Sadly, most of you haven't even seen what was uploaded yet. Actually, not yet, so far. And none of you have seen the vast, I have 6-7 fan films half done. Some are 90% done, but I'm torturing myself with that as well. And the music became a problem because some things got really copyrighted for that. But hopefully now I'm gonna sit down and in 2026 and even 2025, I hope, you're gonna see a lot of that come out. And AI kind of screwed that dream, in my opinion, because AI can create a movie in 2 days, something that I can't do myself, and it looks much better. People care much more about how realistic it looks in the graphics. And I completely understand that, but nonetheless, I'm going to do it. Anyway, it's a project called Expanded Universe Reborn, which I really want to put a lot of work into it and possibly money. But, there is no money from that unless it's crowdfunded, and it's quite hard to crowdfund here. I mean, I have Patreon, but that's really not enough. Wasn't very successful, and the thing is I never even made a trailer for it, despite hours of footage that I have from the stuff that I made there. But it's a project that I want to work on. You can actually see more on cantinasabers.com that I posted there, like the entire project and the fan films in the blog section or whatever. So yeah, anyway, 2021 came. Worst year of my life. Lost my cat Bella. My grandpa died. And I went to Montenegro with my girlfriend for a vacation there to the sea, and that was when I got the call that my grandpa passed away. Then I got sick there, fell off a cliff, cut myself up, stomach, arms, legs, everything. Couldn't breathe because of the shock. Then my girlfriend helped me. I remember I was falling unconscious. I was becoming unconscious slowly. Everything was getting dark, and when she gave me some water, I literally came back. The thing is, the sun hit me. My grandpa died the night before. I felt like crap. I shouldn't have gone to the sea at all. And then after that, I got sick. It was during the unspecified virus of unknown origin that we're not supposed to talk about. And my car broke down. Then we had to put it on a train when we were coming back. My throat was so sore that while we were going back with the train, in the middle of the night, I couldn't breathe. All of a sudden, I had trouble swallowing spit, if you understand what I mean. You do it all the time, actually. It's like a reflex. And it's like you have something here and it's blocking your you're not able to breathe. It's kind of blocking you here and choking you. So I thought, I thought I was toast. We got off the train, gave the keys to the car to the guy that worked on the train, had no choice. Went to the nearest hospital. You know what happened then? They were angry that we called them in 4 a.m. because of someone's throat. So I was supposed to just, die. Then they asked me if I was. Of course not. Then they didn't want to treat me and were pissed at me because of that. Even though in the end, I got so angry then. I wasn't able to speak because I would choke. So I was writing it on the messages. But I got so angry and pissed because of that. Because I was having trouble breathing and they were putting a mask on me. Well fucking done. Well done, morons. By the way, I finished medical school, for your information. And I was so pissed that I survived because I was angry. Because I hate bullshit like that. So I told him to fuck off. Went on my way with my girlfriend, sat on the bus, slept till I came back to my city, took my car, and got better. And it wasn't the virus of unspecified, unknown, whatever. Had nothing to do with it. It was like a bacteria that comes in your throat or something like that when your immune system gets screwed up. So yeah, that was like the worst year in my life. 2021, 2022 came. Lost my other cat. Same week, same 1 day apart, a year later from the first one. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention in 2020 one of them just disappeared. I had 5 cats, so that's like 3 down already. And I'm left with 2 now, and my Maximilian Veers, as I call him, my Labracadabrador, which for years now, due to everything getting much harder, was like the only light in my life for a lot of it. Because I mean, he wasn't the only light, but when I get back home, the dog is someone is so happy to see you. And you guys would actually have to see it, how much happiness that dog has when he sees me, and how much he loves people and everything. It really gives you life, basically.
Max, ko je to? Je to Teodora?
But anyway, next to all of that, in 2021... Oh, no. Wait. I'm just gonna go slightly back. We had a lot of problems on the channel. Article 13, I think it was 2017, was a threat to the channel. They wanted to make copyrighted stuff completely not allowed, which would destroy like every single channel, because I'm in Europe. So that was a huge problem, Article 13. A lot of stress for me there. Then COPPA came. Is the video for kids or not for kids? And the biggest problem with both of these threats that came for YouTube was all that did was make more censorship, which of course the people in charge really like, and made a lot of stress for us. And the threat of getting a like a penalty of a huge amount of money that no one can pay per video. If you remember, guys, how that worked. As you know, YouTube is usually quite unfair. So those were one of the threats. And over the years, there were a lot of threats to destroy YouTube in general, and specifically our channel. You know who did it in the end? My damn government in Serbia actually destroyed both mine and Todd's livelihood. Because in this country, they had some shitty law from like the year 2001 about the internet and making money on the internet. Basically, you get nothing for paying taxes. and you give them like 90% of everything you earn for nothing. That was like some shitty deal. And 99% of people in Serbia who were freelancers weren't doing it. And then all of a sudden they decided to make a way for people to pay. Fine, good, fair enough, you know. You know what else they did? In the end, they went retroactively back in time to make people pay for like 20% of everything they earned in the past 5 years, which got people in debt overnight because they didn't have a law for people to be even able to pay taxes by using freelance. And that came onto me and Todd. And that's like 20,000 euros, or let's say $25,000 being in debt overnight. That happened in 2021, in the worst year of my life, basically. I thought I was never going to see a dime again after that. Imagine being... And somehow there was the loophole. They made it be 6 years. So basically, from 20... So basically, since we started making money, we were supposed to pay retroactively everything, and it wasn't possible. I tried to make like a GoFundMe or something, simply to not, you know, get screwed completely, especially my friend Todd, because it was on his name. And of course, shitty Serbia couldn't even... A GoFundMe or something like that wasn't available anymore here. Swell. No help at all, you know. I didn't talk about it on the channel. I don't like the idea of asking people to give me money or stuff like that. But don't worry, guys. I'm just going through what happened. I'm not asking for it at all. It's good now, believe me. It's not over, but it's getting better, by the way. We managed to survive. It's fine, believe me. And so that happened. That really screwed up how it worked. My friend Todd isn't as lucky as me. He was forced to get a, as they said, real job. And yeah, that's why I'm mostly alone now in making videos. It's 2025, 4 years later, where it was like completely going down regarding the views. And ironically, in 2023 at the end, channel got demonetized for an entire year. I was supposed to get like... I worked my ass off a few months before I got demonetized, and I was supposed to get a big paycheck from YouTube, which then just disappeared overnight when it got demonetized. They never give you the money back. So that created quite a few problems for both me and Todd. He had to go work, as he's doing right now. And the thing that's keeping me going without being able to get a real job is that over the years, I had a side hustle with investing in Lego sets, buying unopened boxes, which are worth much more now. Especially, I bought a lot of battle packs, so that keeps me going, selling the old ones, you know. I never had money to buy huge UCS ones. By the way, this TIE Interceptor here, the UCS one, it's not Lego. It's fake Lego, in fact. And it's because I'm not only boycotting Disney since like forever, I'm actually boycotting Lego now because of their insane prices, but that's beside the point. So just wanted to clarify that. So that's basically keeping me going. I have a lot of sets that I bought, like a few hundred maybe, and a lot of secondhand ones that I was buying with the money that I earned from YouTube, simply to invest into something. And that's what I do. I kind of sell that stuff, and I have a lot of Bionicles for sale as well, besides my own personal collection. All the things that I sell, I personally have my own stuff because I love it. I have to have one of those, not all, but you know. So that's what's been keeping me going. I've been selling those, and since now 2025, it's actually been the Lightsaber store, in fact, because when I was at my lowest in 2024, when stuff really seemed grim, TXQ reached out. The guys that create lightsabers that work with Star Wars theory, you know. So I partnered with them, and it kind of saved my ass, and I'm hoping to work a lot with them in the future. In fact, that's why I created Cantina Sabers, so that Todd can come back and work with me on more videos and more content, and leave the, you know, stupid job, and we can, you know, be back somehow. And I'd actually love to make videos and not think about the views at all, to not care, to simply make it because I love making it, and not give a shit if it's gonna earn money or not, or be monetized or not, because, you know, I don't like the idea of skipping on some copyrighted music that sounds much better than a non-copyrighted one. I'd rather use the thing that sounds better, that makes a better product, instead of, you know, being monetized there, because I care about what I make. You know, perfectionist. It sucks, believe me. It really sucks. It's not good for you. But yeah, that's how it is, guys, with that stuff. Regarding Star Wars, since 2020, I really wasn't into it. Like over the past 5 years, I've been less and less into Star Wars. I actually, believe it or not, I actually believe Disney did more damage to the brand with their stupid, shitty live-action Star Wars series than they did with the sequel trilogy. And believe me, I disliked the sequel trilogy from the start. I fucking hate it. But even that feels more like Star Wars when you rewatch it, just for the sake, and these bullshit live-action TV series, which are just slop. And that's a completely other topic that I really want to get into when it comes to Star Wars. The live-action series took you away from the cinema. The cinema actually makes it feel like an event, even though the movies were crap. For the most part, Rogue One was fantastic. I stand by that one. The others were quite bad, especially the sequels, but the thing is, my thoughts just kind of went away for a second. The thing is with the series, they made you basically watch them at home on the TV or the computer, and it's not you're watching live action Star Wars that doesn't feel special at all, you know. Because there's so much of it, because less is more, actually. When there's less of something that's of good quality, it's worth more in the long run, instead of getting, like, if I'm not mistaken, next to the original series that we have, like, let's say, the 2003 Clone Wars, 2008 Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, the Ewok and Droid series from, like, you know, the 80s or whatever. Besides those, you didn't have any other Star Wars series, and I actually preferred it that way. I love both of the Clone Wars and Rebels, and now I love Andor. Gotta admit that. I love Andor. I enjoyed Bad Batch, but that's about it, kind of. Tales of the Jedi, it's okay, whatever. But anyway, my point with that is the live action takes away the magic, because now with Disney you have like almost 20 Star Wars series. I think it's 17. That's the real number. You have 17 Star Wars series. That's way too much. It doesn't feel special. Per year, you get more hours of Star Wars per year now, the past 5 years, than people have gotten in like 30 years. And obviously it's not good for the franchise, especially since most of them are crap, you know. Except for Andor. And now Andor comes out and sets up new standards that the other stuff is unwatchable, almost, due to how bland and shallow it is. So yeah, I actually believe that the live action shows did more damage than the sequel trilogy at this point, because of the oversaturation of everything. Yeah, Acolyte, definitely. Acolyte was crap. Oh, and by the way, you know, my biggest gripe with the Acolyte, except that it's the woke High Republic era, is that it's pushing moral relativism. You know, the idea that there is no good and evil, that the bad guys think they're doing good, and that makes it good from their perspective. Sure, I get that. Everyone thinks they're doing good. But there is a fine line between good and evil when it comes to Star Wars. And I'd argue with my worldview, there's a fine line between good and evil that doesn't change from 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years, or in 5,000 years. Objective morality would be one, you know, defined as something being right or wrong, despite their, even if they're absent a human mind. That would be objective morality. But they were trying to blur the lines, and I'm quite sick of Disney trying to push moral relativism, because with stuff like that, anything can pass. You can make anything right, and that's a problem, in my opinion, a huge one. You cannot take out the fight against evil and good in Star Wars, and Hollywood has been trying to do that for quite a while, to push that bullshit gray area. And even though life is kind of gray, I'm not perfect. I'm a piece of shit. I need the savior to save me, because I'm a sinful man that makes mistakes all the time. I'm evil and retarded. That's obvious. In a lot of things I do, and that's why I need Jesus, because I can't save myself, and we all do in the end, basically. But that's where I'm at with Star Wars. I've been getting quite sick of it. But now I want to get back to it. To the real Star Wars. I want to get back to creating stories that were never seen on screen. Not just war videos. Like short films with real voice acting. And a lot of sitting in this chair right here. And I definitely plan on doing that. And by the way, I do think we have been shadow banned for speaking our minds for a lot of that stuff, especially the the gender benders and the alphabet mafia, because you're not allowed to disagree with them, of course. And because of that, if you guys heard, we have a second channel called The Crossroads Inn. We posted Warcraft lore videos, Lord of the Rings lore videos, and we have a new fantasy lore series coming there, which I've been working on, that no one on the internet has ever covered, from some old games from the 90s, yes. And I plan on working much more on the Crossroads Inn from now on, but I'm not giving up on the Scoundrel's Cantina anyway, because I do love Star Wars, in fact. I don't expect to be earning money there anytime soon, but I'll be doing it anyway. So yeah, that is the plan. The Crossroads Inn is going to be quite active now for the first time in forever. Everything's going to be linked down below. I would really appreciate you guys following us on Instagram, TikTok, or anywhere else, because I've been the past 6 months I've been preparing content in advance, cutting up shorts and everything from existing videos and making new ones, simply to have a comeback, hopefully. And I've been making some ads for the Lightsaber store as well, because that is the only thing that's gonna keep us going and get Todd back, get his ass back on the computer once again, so that he has time to make more content with me, which would be awesome. By the way, I have to show you something. Take a look at this beauty.
Power on.
Yes, I got a cow's crossguard for making some ads, and I'm actually gonna have a costume for that. But I always wanted to have a crossguard lightsaber, and thank God it's not emo Ren's. you know, the emo man-child. So yeah, you can buy this bad boy at Cantina Sabers. Actually, I'm gonna post all the newest discounts that are coming in the comment section below. I'm gonna pin it, so you can use all the discounts. So yeah, this is the plan. For some reason, the camera doesn't seem to be catching it quite well. Let's see. Yeah, it's too bright. So yeah, guys, that's basically the plan. The Crossroads Inn is gonna be uploading regularly. The Scoundrel's Cantina is gonna be finishing a lot of unfinished products and they're unfinished because of me, by the way. I couldn't get myself to finish them. There's at least around 100 videos that have never been released and worked on for hours or months in advance. Yes, I'm that big of an idiot, for sure. So, I've been rambling for an hour now, I think, and hopefully this video isn't a complete mess, even though it is, because I've been going back and forth with all sorts of different topics. But I've had so many things in my head for the last 10 years. And I've never sat in front of a camera and talked about it. So I have a lot to cover. I was actually thinking of dividing this into like 50 videos on random topics. Because, I mean, one huge topic would be the state of Star Wars, for example. And another would be that Disney pushed me to be a conservative, completely. And being more Christian because of their bullshit and how they treat their fan base. And the agendas they're pushing, which I would argue are objectively evil. But yeah, I think I've been rambling long enough. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. I don't think I've said this. I'm 29 years old. Started my channel at 19. Todd is my best friend. We went to school, primary school, when we were kids. Have known each other for almost 20 years, even more. I can't even remember. We're the same age. Two best friends. Yep. And also my girlfriend Teodora has been with me through all of this. She's fabulous. I love her very much. Hopefully gonna be my wife soon. Yes. And that's it, guys. Please check out all the links down below. Hope you enjoy the content on the Crossroads Inn and the Scoundrel's Cantina in the future. I don't think I'm ever gonna leave any of it, because I actually enjoy all this stuff. And I look forward to giving the middle finger to the woke assholes who have been making life shit for a lot of people for a while now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As we used to always say, God is awesome. May the Force be with you always, and we'll see you in another video, you rebel scum. Although, from now on, I think I'd like to add that Christ is King. See you guys.